Good morning and welcome back to Mae Sot Thailand. It is Tuesday, May 26th, and we've got a beautiful day happening. One of my favorite days. Blue skies, white fluffy clouds, and wind. The wind makes all the difference in the world. I've been in my room most of this morning and I could hear the wind howling outside, things falling over, things banging. I always love a good windstorm. So you're gonna see my hair blowing all over the place, even cut short as it is. And that is the wet market that I pointed out on another walk. As far as I can tell, this wet market has been closed because of all of the quarantine measures. It would normally be full of people selling fresh fish and chicken and all that kind of thing. But right now it's almost completely empty. All there are is a few restaurants open. I can see a couple there with some customers and a little coffee shop there actually. And then some places over here serving noodles. Maybe I'll have lunch over at this spot here when I come back. Looks like they have some tables set out over there, and if I can figure out what kind of food they serve and how to order it, perhaps that will be my lunch. Though I could also have lunch at Tesco, because believe it or not, that's where I'm going again. Since when did I become such a shopping mall person, you might wonder. Hello. Yeah, it's just something that I need to do these days. My main goal is actually to pick up some cornflakes, because Tesco is like one of the few places where I can get cornflakes. A big part of Doug's Happy Diet, and I'm slowly running out of them. And of course I have other things I want to pick up, so I thought I'd just take a walk out to Tesco. And I plotted a route on Google Maps, and I'm not sure whether this is going to work. Time for a map check. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't look right. I'm supposed to be following this main road leading up to the other big main road, turn left and go to Tesco. I thought I would do this new route just to see some new neighborhoods in Mae Sot. And according to Google Maps, I'm in the right place, but the road looks like it dead ends up ahead. But we will find out. Interesting little spot here. Seems to be a truck depot of sorts. So you can see them loading up or unloading a truck. A bunch more here. So I think these are all kind of a warehouse operations down at the bottom there. So let's see where I can go. In terms of an update, this is, I guess I've been at my new guest house for 2 days now, and the big drama is all surrounding electricity and air conditioning. And as far as air conditioning goes, I absolutely love it. I was saying that the heat was starting to get to me. My body was actually breaking out in this terrible heat rash that was just getting worse and worse and spreading all over my body, and it just would not go away. So I thought moving to an air-conditioned room, might help with that. And it's only been 2 days, and staying in that air-conditioned room has just changed everything. My whole body has adjusted, and I feel so much better. The rash is just disappearing really, really fast. So that's a good thing. Yeah, this is a dead end. Google Maps, you let me down again. There's really nowhere for me to go. It's just a closed gate. And there's the main road over there that I'm trying to get to, I think. And we've got some kind of a stadium over here. Big one too, yeah, with the big light fixtures up there for night games. So we turn around and head back. I haven't been paying too much attention to all of the state of emergency measures and everything to do with the pandemic and the restrictions. But as far as I know, today the government in Thailand is voting on whether to extend the state of emergency for another month. And the general mood seems to be that, yeah, this will happen automatically. I don't think anybody thinks they're going to end it, at the end of May or anything like that. And you do see some rumblings from opposition parties that this state of emergency is being used as a political tool, for the ruling party's advantage. So there's a little bit of pushback in that regard, and whether the government is using it to restrict personal freedoms rather than prevent the spread of the virus. So you do see some chatter about that online. But I think more or less people in Thailand are accepting that the state of emergency will go on for another month. Flight bans into the country will go on for another month. They're slowly repatriating Thai citizens from around the world. I think they have a limit, like 300 a day are allowed into the country. And I think they have that limit just because they have to process them for health checks and put them in quarantine, and they don't have facilities to handle, thousands of people returning every day. I reached this roundabout, by the way. Actually, since we're here, and in theory, I am a tourist, am I not? Foreigner with a camera. So when I see something interesting, I should go take a look at it. See if I can get across this roundabout without getting killed. I don't know whether you're supposed to take off your shoes or not to go in here. I'll just stand right here. And I believe that is Ganesh, Hindu god Ganesh. And all the writing is in Thai, so I don't quite know what's going on here. I'll have to do some reading about Ganesh and find out why he's accompanied by so many rodents down below. He's got a whole bunch of them here, a whole bunch more smaller ones on the table, and then a couple other larger ones near him. All right. Oh. Motorbikes coming at me from all directions. And there's another one. I'm still following the stories of stranded foreigners around the world. An interesting couple that I came across recently, I didn't know about them, but they left a comment on one of my videos, and it's a British couple. Oh boy, I had the name in my mind, but now I'm blanking on who they are. I'll put a link in the description, but they set off on touring bicycles from the UK, and they've been cycling for a long time now, going through all of Europe and Central Asia and into Southeast Asia. And they reached Thailand just when all of the quarantine measures and travel restrictions started. And they're currently camping on a beach on Koh Phi Phi Island. So these guys are definitely survivors. They're not like me. They didn't find a comfortable room with air conditioning and hot water. They're on the beach, living off fish that they get from local sea gypsies, and they're even collecting their own crab. They're filtering seawater with a special system with water bottles to turn seawater into drinkable water. And sleeping in a tent on the beach. I saw a video recently that showed how they get to this beach, and it was a major expedition. So I'm pretty sure they don't have their bicycles on the beach. I don't know how they're working that out. I think their bikes are in storage somewhere else. And then they carried their gear to the beach and set up camp there. But yeah, they have a great attitude. As they put it in their videos a few times, there's nothing they can do about it. You know, their plan, like mine, was to continue down into Malaysia, and suddenly the border into Malaysia was closed, and they're not whining and complaining about that. They're just living a good life here in Thailand and waiting for the situation to change. But yeah, it was pretty interesting to see some of their journey. They don't post a lot of videos, just a little snippets here and there, but you get a sense of what they've been about. They have a really nice website though, very professional website, and they are raising money for breast cancer research as they go on their journey. The other foreigners I've been following are travel bum who are still in Cusco, and they've had some adventures there where they were staying in this Airbnb, and then their landlord contacted them and said that family members of theirs had contracted COVID-19, and they were moving them into one of the neighboring Airbnb houses. So essentially, they now had neighbors who were infected with the coronavirus. And of course, this made them ponder the wisdom of staying there, mainly because they chose this Airbnb in particular because it had a big backyard, and they could go out into the yard and go outside. And they've adopted a local street dog that they called Mr. Potato Head. And Mr. Potato Head, you know, would like to go into the backyard and run around and do his dog things back there. But now this backyard area was being reserved for this family that has the coronavirus, so they can't go back there anymore. And it made them think whether they should stay or not, and they were considering moving to a new place. They also got the unfortunate news that the lockdown, I mean, there it's a much more strict lockdown than here in Thailand, by far. And this lockdown, they were hoping it was going to start to go away, but they just announced in Peru that the lockdown would be continued for another 5 weeks, up until the end of June. So they weren't very happy to hear about that. And I think they also started thinking, you know, maybe it's time to think about getting a repatriation flight back to the United States, where they're from. But one thing that strikes me about their videos is how different Peru looks compared to Thailand. As I'm sure you can see from this short video of mine, things are pretty active here, especially with the recent wave of businesses being allowed to reopen. A lot of shops are open, a lot of traffic, a lot of normal activity. And in Cusco, where they are, especially in their older neighborhoods, the streets were empty, like absolutely empty. And everywhere they went, they were kind of worried about the police all the time, because there were rules. You're not even supposed to walk together with another person, and the two of them would be walking side by side. And the whole time they were kind of keeping an eye open for the police, you know, thinking if the police spot them, you know, they could get in trouble. So the situation in South America seems to be quite a bit different than it is here in Southeast Asia. You're seeing a huge rise in the infection numbers in Brazil, for example. And I think a lot of the countries there are really struggling with it still. So they're in a very different situation there than I'm in here. So there is a store or a shop after my own heart. Got some fast-moving cars coming here. I was just looking across the street, and it looks like some kind of a second-hand goods store. I don't think I really need anything that I could find in a shop like this, but it's always fun to wander around and see what they have. Well, and here we are. A shop for people on a budget. All kinds of baby carriers, it looks like. You can carry your baby in a harness. A lot of inexpensive shoes. And bicycles. Let's go check those out. It would be nice if they had prices on them, but I think that's highly unlikely. Look at this one. This is a design for the family on the go. Baby seat and a basket on the front. Hello.
Hello. How much this one? 300, 500 baht. 3,500.
3,500.
This one, no, the car, no?
Right.
And this 3,000.
3,000.
This
Okay.
one, 2,500 baht.
Okay. Okay.
This one, 3,500 baht.
Okay. Hey, kitty. Hello. New friend. Hey there, buddy.
Have baby please.
Yeah, I see. Just had babies. So we got a mother cat here. Just had kittens. Hey? How are you? Oh, I've got all kinds of stuff here. More shoes, clothing. People want me to buy more shirts, but I don't see any men's t-shirts here. Children's toys. And what would be the chances of seeing a ice cube tray back there after all this time? Of course, I don't need one anymore because I just got a brand new ice cube tray in the mail. But it would be pretty funny to see one back here. Well, I didn't walk out of there with anything, but it's nice to know, a shop like that exists. The bicycles were in the range of 3,000 baht for the most part. A little bit higher or lower than that. Pretty basic bikes meant for families actually with children. And they're not mountain bikes or anything like that. The 3,000 baht is about $93 US, maybe $130 Canadian. So if you knew you were going to be here in Mae Sot for a long time, wouldn't be a bad idea to pick one up. Well, I've arrived at Tesco. I spotted this cell phone shop just outside and I popped in there to see if they had an OTG adapter. And she said no. And I didn't see any on the shelves, but I did get the impression, and I often get this impression, that a clerk will just say no automatically because, I'm speaking to her in English and I say OTG adapter and she may not even know what that is, and she just goes with the easy option, which is to say, no, whatever that is, I don't know what it is, but we don't have it, just to keep her life simple. But as I said, I looked myself around all the products they were selling and I didn't see anything. So here we are, back at the entrance. And there's a QR code right here at the beginning. But I think I'll wait and do it at the table. Okay, there's a table, and I'm going to sit down here. I keep forgetting about how I can use my phone as a Google Translate device, so I'm going to try and use it on this sign here and see if my phone can tell me what it says. So I did scan that sign with Google Translate, and this is what I came up with. It just basically says register by filling in the following information: purchase, surname, phone number, and time. So that's pretty straightforward. I thought the sign would say something about you can either use the QR code or fill in the form, but it doesn't say that at all. In this case, I just registered with the QR code again, and I think that is more than enough. I think if you do that, you really don't have to fill out the paper. So I'm just going to leave it at that and head in and do some shopping. I don't know why I'm thinking about this so much, but it's kind of what I do. I was just hearing a government, like an announcement coming out over this speaker about this QR code. And it says basically, to comply with government policy, you are required to check in with the QR code or sign in on the logbook. So their English is very good in that announcement. It makes it pretty clear. If you believe what they're saying, they're basically saying you have to do one or the other, but you don't have to do both. So you can do the QR code, and if you do, you don't have to fill out the book. But if you don't do the QR code, you must fill out the book, one or the other, and it is required. At least according to that store announcement. So, mystery finally solved for me. I got at least one clear answer. Well, I'm back inside Tesco. And yeah, I think I might take a look at some light bulbs, see if I can brighten up my room a little bit if these bulbs aren't super, super expensive and I can get one bright enough. Here they are here. The funny thing these days is that even this technology has changed, because it says 24 watt, but that's the new system. And in fact, it's 24 watt, but it's 125 watt equivalent. And that's the number I'm familiar with. So I know this is a bright bulb, you know, anything 125 watt, 120 watt, like all these things that say 12 watt, you know, 13 watt. That's a new system that I don't really understand. So I look for the old numbers. So this Philips 125 watt, cool daylight, extra bright. So that's what I'm looking for. So I think I'll definitely pick up one of those. Unless there's a better one over here. Yeah, 24 watt. Well, this is an option as well. A lot cheaper. And I don't mind paying, you know, the premium price, but I have found that those bulbs don't last when they're in a backpack. So maybe this basic 100 watt normal bulb for a much cheaper price, maybe 24 baht. Yeah, that might be the better way to go. Okay, well, now I need a basket. I forgot to get a basket. Oh, that's interesting. I think you should be able to test the light bulb here, which is good. When I was in Kuala Lumpur, I had a light bulb just like this one, and it stopped working. So I went to a department store and bought a new one, and when I got it back to the guest house, it wouldn't work. And there was no way of exchanging it or getting credit or anything like that. So I went to another store and bought another one, and it also didn't work. And then I just gave up on light bulbs. But here it looks like I should be able to test it before I buy it. So let's give this a try. So here we go. This is the Philips Superlux 100 watt soft focus, and it's 35% brighter, whatever that means. 35% brighter compared to what? The sun? I don't know. Here's the switch. There we go. Doesn't look that super bright to me, but of course we're in a very bright environment. I think I'm going to compare it to one of these energy saving bulbs, see what it looks like. Test number 2. This is the Philips Tornado 125 watt, and it's the cool daylight version. They also have warm white, and I'm never sure which is the better one to have for a room like mine, cool daylight or a warm bulb. Let's see what it looks like. Huh. Is that brighter or not? Wonder if it has to warm up. I noticed that one of the rings is much darker than the other ones. So I think it's brighter. Last test. This is the Philips Tornado 125 watt warm white. Oh. I think the cool daylight one was much brighter than this. Well, I think we have a winner. I picked out another one of these cool daylight ones, and it seems to have a much more even lighting on all the tubes. And it seems, to me anyway, it seems brighter than the standard little bulb. Even the photograph here, you know, shows a little girl using it on a desk lamp rather than, you know, a bulb to light up a whole room. And I think this one can light up a whole room pretty nicely. There is one other option here, which is kind of funny. There are these, where did they go? Oh, here they are. Giant 35 watt, 180 watt bulbs, X-Fire. They're 200 baht. But I think if the owner of the guest house came into the room and saw one of these giant bulbs hanging from the ceiling, she might wonder what in the world is going on. You know, like, do I need my own nuclear power plant to drive that light bulb? Something like this is a more unobtrusive, I think, more natural. I think this is what I'm going to get. So I decided to go for a food cart meal, kind of a simple bowl of noodles and wontons. I love these places when they have actual models of the food and you can just point at them. It makes life so much easier. So I had a choice between all of these, and I went for this one, just because of all the wontons in there. And these are the tables. I think these are new. They didn't have these last time I was here, did they? These big green barriers, social distancing. So you can sit on this side. It almost feels like a game show. You see this on Jimmy Fallon or something, where he sits on one side and the guest on the other, and they play some kind of a guessing game. Like, what am I holding in my hands or something? So you can't actually see each other. All they really need now is some kind of an intercom system. You can pick up a phone on this end, like you're speaking to somebody who's in prison on the other side. Now, I'm not sure who or how I'm supposed to pay. Maybe I just pay the woman preparing my meal. Okay, she's explaining the system to me. Oh, I have to come over here. Ah, okay. So it turns out they have a system where you go over to that counter and pay, and then they give you one of these cards with a code on it that says that you've paid, and then you bring it back here, and then they scan it, and I guess I get my my meal, and I'm ready to go. Can't say it looks quite as big and delicious as the model, Looks a little bit small, but I'm sure it'll be tasty. Let's go over to my social distancing table. All right, a food court meal. I'm very hungry, so this will be very tasty. It's good. I'm still confused about their system, though. I understand what to do now. You order there, and then you go over to this counter behind me, and you pay there, and then they give you this, card that they've scanned, and then you bring the card back to them, and then they bring it way over to another side where there's another cash register, and then they scan it. But what I don't understand is how the woman at this counter knew what my order was. Like, I ordered verbally over there, and then I went over there to pay, but there's no way this woman would know what it was I had ordered. I wasn't given a piece of paper or a receipt or anything. So somehow that information was transmitted from there to there. But if there were like 10 or 15 customers in a line, how would they know what order on their computer went with which customer? I'd still have to tell them in words what I had ordered, and then they'd look on their list. And anyway, doesn't seem like a great system to me. I'd much rather just order and pay right there. But what's really nice is just to be inside in air-conditioned comfort to have this meal. I was going to get kind of a meal at the bus station on my way back, and I might still do that, because this meal, tasty as it is, it's not a full meal for me. I could have probably 3 of these lined up, and that might be enough of a lunch for me. Even 3 probably wouldn't be quite enough. I'd have to get 4 of them, I think. Very good. I'm going to turn off the camera and enjoy the rest of my meal. See you in a few minutes. So the noodles were really good, but nowhere near a meal. Like I said, I could have had 4 of those bowls, and I probably would have felt full after that. But rather than get a second one, I thought I'd try a second snack here at this. I saw this the other day, and it looked good to me. Right there. I don't know what the local name is, or even the English name. Get some sauce there. Okay. Thank you. There it is there, and let's go find another social distancing table. Oh, there it is, my post-lunch snack. This cost 35 baht. I guess that's about $1 US, something like that. One good thing about eating is I think you are allowed, of course, to take your mask off while you're sitting here in the social distancing eating bubble. Oh, feels good to take that thing off. All right. Let's just try one of these without the sauce and see what we've got going on. I don't know if there's any meat in there or not. Mainly veggies, but maybe a little bit of pork as well, I'm guessing. Very tasty. Some garnish. Mint, I think. And they put it on a little bed of lettuce, so it's kind of nice presentation. I can tell I'm still hungry because I just want to just eat these things so fast. I'm barely taking time to chew. It's because I didn't have breakfast again this morning, and it's already about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is the noodles in this. It's my first meal for the day. Very good. A lot of flavors going on as you chew through what's in here. Let's add some of this sauce. Yeah, the sauce is good. It's very spicy, of course. For me, I mean, this would be fine just on its own. There's enough flavor here. I don't really need to add the spicy sauce usually. And sometimes I find when you add the spicy sauce, that's all you end up tasting. I mean, this sauce is so strong and so spicy that it overpowers the flavor of whatever is inside here, you know? So. Some more mint garnish. I'm really glad I ordered this. All right, turn the camera off and I'll enjoy the rest of my meal, and I'll check back with you in a few minutes. And this is a really sad sight. It's a sit-down restaurant and a booth, but as far as I can tell, there's only one person per booth. You've got 3 X's out of 4 seats. So that's quite something. Social distancing. Wow. And one last snack adventure for the mall. We're going to go for this orange Thai tea. And I have no idea what it is, to be honest. Oh, getting some tea there. Looks like there are all kinds of ingredients. Oh, condensed milk. Secret sauce of some kind. So exciting. I have no idea what it is. Mystery drink. Oh, wow, look at that. A whole thing of ice. Blender to get it all mixed together. Wow. And there we have it. Thai tea. So there it is, Thai tea. Oh, this is exciting. Actually, I'm going to sit down and enjoy this as well, just so I can relax and take off the mask and not have to carry anything in my hands while I enjoy it. I saw someone having one of these the other day, actually. I saw them walking away from that chobcha stand over there. So that's where I got the idea to order one of these things. And luckily they had a menu with pictures, so I could just point at the picture. I took a chance and I tried to ask the clerk, you know, what is it? Like, I know it's called Thai tea, but what is in Thai tea? I mean, what exactly is this drink? But of course, I asked her in English, you know, like, what is Thai tea? And she quite reasonably replied, Thai tea. That's what it is. So that's why I watched, to see her mix it up so carefully. I have no idea what all those ingredients were, but I guess tea and condensed milk and a whole bunch of flavors. That's good. That is really good. I have to pace myself because I said how hungry I was, but I'm also really, really thirsty. For a drink like this, I really should have like a liter of ice cold water and just power down the liter of water just to get rid of the instant, emergency thirst. And then I can slow down and really enjoy a drink like this. Because if I let myself, I would just drink this whole thing. Within 5 seconds, it would be gone. But I'm trying to force myself to enjoy it slowly. There's a flavor there. Seems vaguely familiar, but I can't really tell you what it is. It's good though. I like it. All right. Whew. And after I finish this, I think I'll be heading out of the mall, unless I spot something else that I might want to try on my way out. But I think I'll be heading back to the green guest house after I finish this. See you again in a few minutes. So that is it for my shopping expedition to Tesco today. I ran into a little bit of a problem at the end there because I couldn't do the QR checkout because my phone died. I was using my phone quite a bit this morning at the hotel and I didn't charge it up again before I left. So just as I was leaving Tesco, the battery died and I wasn't able to check out even if I'd tried, So that's one thing about these modern systems. It only works if you have a phone and your phone has a data connection and the battery is charged. If you don't have those things, then it doesn't do you any good. But nobody is checking to see whether you checked out or not. Nobody stops you if you don't check out using the QR code. Whew, another hot day, I'll tell you that. I was in the mall for quite a long time this time, longer than I'm normally there. So I got quite used to the air-conditioned environment. And when I stepped outside the front doors, back into the sun, it's like stepping into a furnace. I guess that's because the skies are so clear today. There you can see clear blue skies and the sun is really beating down. Someone asked me in one of the comments whether I had been to a certain temple in Mae Sot. And in fact, I haven't really been to any of them. I walk by temples all the time, such as this one on my way to Tesco. But for whatever reason, I've never actually taken the time to go inside. I guess part of it has been this is the, quarantine era. And it feels a bit weird to be out, being a tourist and visiting tourist attractions or temples. But at the same time, they never seem like very busy places. I always enjoyed going to see the temples in Myanmar because they were really quite interesting places. And there would often be people there and then some kind of activity. But all the temples here that I've seen in Mae Sot, they just sort of seem like empty lots, empty buildings. I never see anybody inside. I never see any activity. So just never had the urge to go inside and check them out. There's one other story that I could have mentioned during my Thailand update earlier. And that is the story of families being split up because of the coronavirus travel restrictions. I keep seeing more and more and more of these stories online lately whenever I check for news about Thailand. And the story usually goes that it involves foreigners who are married to Thai women, because there are a lot of Americans, Brits, and Canadians, Australians. Lots of foreign men are married to local women here in Thailand and have homes and families here. But if they happen to be outside of Thailand when the borders were closed, their wives and children can return to Thailand, but the men can't. You know, they have special status, of course, being married to someone from Thailand, but whatever status that is, doesn't get them past the coronavirus restrictions that say no foreigners can enter Thailand. So they are still considered a foreigner, even though they're married to a local person and live here, and they can't return to Thailand. So these families have to decide whether to stay together overseas, wherever they are, or for the woman and the children to return to Thailand, to their home, and then the men have to stay overseas and wait until the travel restrictions are lifted. And most of the articles that I read about this kind of come at the subject from the point of view of this being a bad policy on Thailand's part. But when you do a bit of digging, I think a lot of countries around the world have basically the same policies. And I think families of dual nationalities are facing, you know, similar problems almost everywhere, where citizens of that country can return home to their home country, but if they happen to have married someone of another nationality, they may not be able to return as easily. I think that might even be the case in Canada. At least somebody was saying that online. But anyway, that is the little bit of Thailand update that I forgot about. Here I am, back at the Green Guest House. Welcome, Green Guest House. Oh, one more thing to take care of. Well, two more. Drink of water. Wow. It's amazing how cold that refrigerator gets. I think I've got the dial in it turned almost all the way back to 0, but it doesn't seem to have any effect. The water just in the fridge is like ice cold. I mean, it hurts your throat. It's so cold going down, which I love, so don't get me wrong. And the last thing is that, as I may have mentioned, I got another package in the mail. Check that out. It was waiting for me outside my door when I went out this morning. Shipped to Mr. Doug the Canadian at Green Guest House. And I don't see a name on the outside. Looks like it might have come all the way from Bangkok. Well, let us find out. I can kind of guess what's on the inside, maybe, just from the shape of the object, but I won't spoil the surprise. Let's cut this open and see what we. Look at that. Ta-da! Scotch magic tape. And that's so interesting. This is, I was talking the other day that the ones that I saw the local ones, I thought maybe they were local generic brands, you know, kind of ripping off Scotch tape, because the packaging didn't look the same as what I'm used to. And this is, to me, the official Scotch packaging. So this this is kind of what I'm used to seeing in shops around the world, you know, when I was looking for official Scotch tape. So that is amazing. Thank you very much, whoever sent this to me. No note on the inside, but it might have been ordered from the UK, amazon.co.uk. And then on the outside, Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different labels on here, like 2 or 3 labels, one over top of the other, and then one on the back. And it might be that one of these labels covered up the sender. So I can't actually see who sent it to me. But whoever you are, mystery Scotch tape person, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I can't tell you how good it makes me feel just to be here in this place at this time and then get something like this from the outside world, you know, kind of pushes back on that feeling of, isolation that builds up, in times like these. So yeah, that's awesome. Thank you very much. And with that, I guess that is the official end of today's video. And if I go on any more small adventures tomorrow, I will be sure to take you along with me. Time for some more cold water. Cheers.